أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الخالق بادئ كل شيء له الأسماء الحسنى القائل في محكمه التنزيل أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون وقال أيضا يرفع الله الذين آمنوا منكم والذين أوتوا العلم درجات يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين إخوة في الإسلام. Dear beloved brothers and sisters, I thank Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. He is really the creator and the bearer of mankind. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has granted us the best of our lives, and we really should be appreciative by worshipping Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. That is the best way of appreciating Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala for whatsoever He has done for us, Ibadur Rahman. I bear witness that there is none worth worship except Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a messenger and a servant of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So dear beloved brothers and sisters, I pray that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala bestows His peace and blessings upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I'd hear your souls, not leaving mine aside, to be watchful and fearful of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, as He says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, ittaqullaha wa kunu ma'as sadiqin. O you who have believed, be watchful, be fearful of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and be among those who say the truth. That is the number one meaning of that statement. And be among those who act upon the truth, and be among the believers in the truth. Be among the seekers of the truth. Kunu ma'as sadiqin. As-sadiqun, they seek for the truth. They speak truth. They act upon it, and they spread truth. Dear beloved brothers and sisters, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says in the Quran, هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. It is quite a very difficult question to answer in such an era where people don't believe that knowledge can move them a step. We are in a certain era where people don't believe in learning, in seeking for the truth, in seeking for the knowledge. But Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala gave us quite an answer, quite an astounding answer when He said, يَرْفَعِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala raises those who have believed among you. وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ. And those that He has granted knowledge in ranks. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala raises two groups of people. One of them might be having two qualities. You might be a believer, and at the same time you have acquired knowledge. You are raised more in ranks. You might be a person who is knowledgeable. For example, we have philosophers in different sciences, but they are not Muslims. But still, Allah has raised them in ranks in this dunya. Dear beloved brothers and sisters, we have mu'minun. We have people that are believers. Yes, they have a certain rank because they are not equal to the kufr, those who don't believe in Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. But at the same time, it's very challenging for you to be a believer without knowledge. In the end of the day, you're going to face a lot of challenges if you want to seek belief without seeking knowledge. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Man salaka tariqa. Whoever goes out to seek, yaltamisu fihi ilma, he gets on a route of seeking knowledge. سهل الله له طريقا إلى الجنة. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala makes his path to the route of Jannah, to Jannah, very easy. What is the hidden meaning of this hadith, dear beloved brothers and sisters? The route to seeking knowledge is very, very hard. It is filled with founds, certain things we wouldn't like to suffer in our lives. It is filled with you not sitting your back down. You always have to be uncomfortable. You have to set your mindset that you don't know. You have to believe that you don't know. Actually, one of the scholars who came way before us, Abdullah ibn al-Mubarak, he once said that لا يزال الرجل عالم, a certain person will never be knowledgeable ما كان يطلب العلم أو ما دام يطلب العلم, so long as he keeps searching for knowledge. فإذا ظن أنه علم, a day that comes up and he starts thinking, he hasn't acted upon it, but he's only thinking about it. He starts to think that he is knowledgeable. فَقَدْ جَهِلْ, he has actually gone even below the level of not being knowledgeable. He has gone below the level of zero. He is negative. فَقَدْ جَهِلْ, it's more, he is just a foolish person. That's the easiest word I can use. فَقَدْ جَهِلْ, you're not someone who doesn't know, because you're at a level who doesn't know that you don't know. So it is very, very challenging of so many Muslims right now who have started dissing knowledge, to the extent that some people say there are so many successful men out there who have not gone to school. Why should I go to school? That's a certain manner of dissing knowledge. Actually, I'm a person who keeps telling people that you should always seek knowledge, be it Islamic or the worldly knowledge, what we call ilm dunawiyya. Actually, at one time I was claiming to some people that yes, our scholars who came way before us were very good to dissect for us, to give us a certain setting where we can differentiate the sciences and philosophies from the ilm of dunya, from the ilm of the spiritual knowledge, the ilm diniyya. But at the same time, there is a certain gap we are failing to bridge. We are failing to cover Ibadur Rahman. We are going beyond a red line. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala equates this knowledge to everything that he gave to us when he says وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. He taught Adam each and every kind of knowledge. He did not talk about ilm al-diniyya or ilm al-dunawiyya. أَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا, each and every kind of knowledge that humankind needs to meet the demands of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is called knowledge. I don't see a line. I don't see a black and white. It is a gray area. It is something we should know, that we should seek knowledge, whether it is philosophies, whether it is to do with the spirituality, understanding Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. It is equitably required for someone to know. Why? Because within your salah, you need that knowledge. Things around you, you need that knowledge. You cannot perform salah when you are uncomfortable. Among the things that Prophet ﷺ actually refused us from doing is praying in discomfort. One of them is, if you're so excited, you at least try to get means of lowering your excitement. If you're so depressed, try to get means of raising your moods so that you get to the normal and you get to pray. Those are things around you. Many people are depressed by certain things that wouldn't have depressed them if they had what they call ilm dunawiyya. Many of us are losing out on doing certain acts of worship because with this, we demise the ilm dunawiyya, because we ranked it, we put it in quotes that this is ilm for the dunya. Even if I don't acquire it, I don't need it. But Ibadur Rahman, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, the people he raises in ranks are those who believe in him and those he has granted knowledge. So it is very challenging if you sit down and you don't want to look for knowledge and you want to be a believer. Your route to Jannah is going to be made difficult. It's going to be the opposite of what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that man salaka tariqa, whoever searches, whoever goes to a route to seek for knowledge, Allah makes his path to Jannah very, very simple. Sahal Allahu lahu tariqan ila al-Jannah. Dear beloved servants of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, among the people that came way before us, these among the companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was so much cautious in seeking for the truth. That is why I made this verse key when I was adhering you for you to be watchful of Allah. When you're seeking Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, you should be watchful of where you seek your knowledge from. You should be watchful of how you think of knowledge, because knowing Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala requires intensity of seeking, of making research, of learning your religion, Ibadur Rahman. It is not something that we are going to acquire on a silver plate plate, it's not a silver spoon that you're going to use to get this knowledge. You need to go down, read books, understand different languages, whatever you can read, especially Arabic, so that you read this knowledge yourself. Maybe it would be better than sitting and listening to someone like me. I'm here to maybe boost you, to boost your iman, to boost your understanding of what is required for you to seek knowledge, ya Ibadur Rahman. So among companions was Salmaan Al-Farisi. He has such a very beautiful story. It is so long, but I'm going to go through it in a skeleton manner. I'll just go through it slowly or smoothly, inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Normally we are told to do things and we tend to be weak, but this guy, since he was a child, he never sat down on looking for knowledge. He never gave up on seeking for the truth, Ibadur Rahman. So he was among the people that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that he is among the Ahlul Bayt. When he was in the battle of Khandaq, he had given an idea. That is when he had become already a Muslim and he had joined them with the companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was his idea to dig the trenches. So as they were digging, they divided themselves into three groups, if I'm not mistaken, three groups. Among them were the Muhajirun and others were the Ansar, and the other group had the Ahlul Bayt, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Salmaan Al-Farisi did not know where to go. So each group was calling him. These guys who are the Ansar, the guys who grew up in Medina, were calling him. And the guys who are the Muhajirun, they grew up in Mecca, they were also calling upon him. Salman, come to our side. And Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, Salmanu minna Ahlul Bayt. Salman is from us, the Ahlul Bayt. This is such a very high rank for Salmaan Al-Farisi. He's neither among the Muhajirun, he's neither among the Ansar, but he is among the Ahlul Bayt Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is the only, there are only two companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam who came from Iran. One of them is called Suhaib al-Rumi. Suhaib al-Rumi is called a Rumi because his history is much known to be from Roman Empire, but he was captured from the Sassanid Empire. As he was still a young lad, he was 6 years, he was with his mother. They had gone for a certain function. So these guys from the Roman Empire came and made ruckus around certain towns. So they captured a number of women and kids and men. Among those who were taken to the Roman Empire at one time was this guy, Suhaib. And they took him to the Roman Empire and he was made to be a slave. So he was a slave for almost his youthhood until he was about 20-25 years. Allah knows best. Until he heard that there is a land that no one takes care of because they are so barbaric, they're backward. Those were the Arabs at that moment. So he realizes he can flee from that land. He can flee to that land. He cannot flee to the Sassanid Empire because Roman troops are all over the borders. But they don't care who goes to the Arabia. They don't give a damn. What he does, he makes plans. And he runs to Saudi Arabia. He gets to Mecca. That is Suhaib al-Rumi. That is why he's called al-Rumi. But he comes initially from the Iran side. That is from the Persians. And the second one is Salmaan Al-Farisi. So they are the only two companions who came from that side. And those guys, initially, they used to worship the fire. They're called the Al-Majusiyya. They would watch the Magians. They would worship all the Zoroastrians, whatever you may want to call them. They would worship fire. They would believe in two gods, Ahura Mazda, one of the gods who is the god of good things. And then there is a god of the bad things we believe to be the devil, Shaitan. For them, they would take him to be the god of the bad things. So they would always worship fire as a presentation, as a symbol for the god of the light, the god of good things, so that the more the fire lights, the more the dark energy dooms down, that it goes down. It doesn't have you cannot say that we are in darkness when fire is lit. So that is what they believed. Most especially those guys were the Persians, and it's one of the oldest religions apparently. But right now they are seemingly going down. There are only around 100, according to what I saw on Wikipedia. There are about 100,000 only in the whole world. So they are very low in terms of population. So Salmaan Al-Farisi, when he was young, his father was among the Ru'asa, the leaders of the villages in the Sassanid Empire. So he was a wealthy guy, and he had what you may call a garden. So it was a very big plantation, actually not a garden, a big plantation. But at one time he was busy with construction somewhere. And he realized that he doesn't have time to go to the garden. he sent Salmaan Al-Farisi. Salmaan Al-Farisi narrates this story by himself to Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, and I'm getting it from Musnad Imam Ahmad Ibadur Rahman. It's a serious narrative because every now and then he would narrate it. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would always tell him, narrate to the people how you became a Muslim. Narrate to the people your route, because they would pick lessons. So what he tells us is his father loved him so much. He was the most beloved creation of Allah to his father. And he would tie him, he would lock him inside the house, just like they would do to the female, to the young girls, so that they would be protected. That is how much the father of Salman Al-Farisi protected him. So at this moment, he needed him to help him. He needed the boy to help him because he was busy watching the construction. So he sent Salman Al-Farisi to go to the plantation. Salman Al-Farisi is not familiar with the outside. He's always in the fence. As he goes on his route to the garden or to the plantation, he realizes there is a group of some people who are singing, not singing, but worshiping, who are worshiping, because he says he found them praying. I saw them yusallun. He used a lafuz, yusallun, a prayer. They were praying. So Allah knows best which kind of prayer they were doing, but they were close. It is narrated that this is the closest sect of Christianity by then to the teachings of Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. They are called the Nestoriya. They do exactly as he taught, except for one thing, where they go astray slightly. They believe that Isa alayhi salatu wasalam came as a prophet, but because of his devotion to the rules of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, Allah raised his ranks by adopting him as his son. So they believe he is an adopted son. They don't say that he is a begotten son. So that's why they slightly go away from the teachings of Isa. But the rest of it all, actually, when you go to the histories, you're going to find people like Waraka ibn Nawfal. They studied this kind of Christianity. They know these verses that came in the Quran. When Isa alayhi salatu wasalam said, وَإِذْ قَالَ عِيسَى بْنِ مَرْيَمْ يَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ إِنِّي رَسُولُ اللَّهِ إِلَيْكُمْ مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ وَمُبَشِّرًا بِرَسُولٍ يَأْتِي مِنْ بَعْدِ اسْمُهُ أَحْمَدَ. So they believed this, and it was in the Injil of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. The teachings of the Jews were all in the Injil, because Injil came to affirm, to refurbish that which was in the Torah. So everything that the Jews do in Judaism, it is related to what the Nestoriya Christians used to do, because they learned from Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. So guess what? When Salman sees these guys worshipping, he is taken up by the way they worship, to the extent that he fails to reach the plantation and the sun sets. The father is looking for him everywhere. So when he goes back, he realizes father had stopped working. He had stopped watching up for his stuff, because he was wondering where his son could be. Until the son came back and is like, didn't I give you a task? Where have you been, dear son? And he tells him, Ya Abi, dear father, as I was heading to the plantation, I saw a certain group of Christians, and they were worshipping. I was mesmerized by the way they were worshipping. So I believed that this could be a serious religion. It's better than our religion. And the father tells him, no, dinuka wa dinu abaika afdal min hadhihi din. Min hadha din. Your religion and the religion of your fathers is far better than that religion. Don't even talk about that. And the son argues again and tells him, Ya Abati, dear lovely father, I'm telling you, honestly, I'm very serious. These guys, their religion is better than ours. He is using a language that is saying, Ya Abati, a lovely language. He loves his father so much. But again, he believes this is the truth. Guess, how old could he be? This is a young lad of about 12, 13, 15 years. Wallahu a'lam. But this is how much we can estimate him to be. Because he is born in 568, 2 years before the birth of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he's such a young lad, but his intuition, we may call it fitra. Allah Ta'ala created us with a fitra. Murugana tuchito obubumbwa. So the intuition that always tells you that what you're doing is wrong. You should be doing the contrary. You shouldn't be doing that. That is wrong. This is right. So there is that is called fitra. Normally we translate it to be Islam, but I think it's wrong. According to the scholars, more like Ibn Taymiyyah, he says that hadith doesn't mean Islam. Kullu mawlud yuladu ala al-fitra. Every born child is born on the fitra. It doesn't necessarily mean Islam, but it means your natural call. Your nature calls you to worship something that is Allahu Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, is connected to Allahu Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. But I won't go so much into that. But this is the thing pushing Salman. He has been always under the fence. How could he tell that this is the best religion compared to theirs? Of course, he is not sure that it's the rightful religion. But when he compares to what they are doing, these ones are far better than what they are doing. So Salman Al-Faris is taken up by why these guys are doing, and the father is annoyed. So what he does, he enchains him. Amteka kunjegere in the house. Salman Al-Farisi sends certain people, and he gets to learn that a certain group of the Nasraniya or Nestoriya had come to this church, well, the Kanisa, the church where these guys were worshipping from in Persia. And he realizes this group is going to go back. So when he gets this information, I'm trying to cut the long story short, he tries to escape and joins this group going to Sham. Because when he was talking to these guys, he asks them, where is this religion best? And they tell him it is Sham. It's based from Jerusalem. We all know that. So Salman Al-Farisi goes with a group to Shami. When he reaches Shami, he asks for the best. This is why I'm telling you. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. He's like, who is the best in this religion, in this land? When they show him some bishop, he joins him. And he pleads to him to join him. He's going to serve him. I'm going to serve you. I shall do whatever you need. I'll be a servant so long as you teach me. And we practice this beautiful religion together. And this bishop, they are normally called him as-Saquf or something of that sort. I'm forgetting the Arabic term. So he accepts him in. And he starts to live with him. But to his disappointment, the guy would ask for money from people. And he would embezzle it. So he would keep it somewhere, and he wouldn't allow it to reach the people who need it, the needy and the poor. So Salman Al-Farisi, this new entrant of this religion, he's disappointed, but he doesn't leave the religion. What do you learn if you're a new convert in this religion? It is not about the people you face in Islam. It's about the religion. What does it teach? Because the religion doesn't teach oppression. It is against oppression. So if you see someone oppressing people, it doesn't mean that it's the religion that is teaching that. And you shouldn't hate the religion because you've seen someone behaving in a manner that you're not familiar with. You should just learn that they are human beings just like you. You've just embraced the religion, but in 2 days' time, you're about to commit a sin. You're bound to commit a sin. So you should know that just like you can sin, how about these guys who are born Muslims? They can also sin. So Salman Al-Farisi realized that what this guy is doing is not right. But at the same time, he still needs the religion itself. He doesn't leave the religion. So he lives with the guy, but in disappointment. Until the guy dies, these guys are yet to pray for him. And he tells them, no, you can't pray for this guy. He has been such and such and such. But it doesn't report him as he's still alive. This is the wisdom of Salman Al-Farisi. This is his scholar. He is learning from him. He believes at that moment he is the best, though he is doing what he's doing. So until he dies, he tells these guys he has been doing such and such. So what the guys do, they don't bury him. They take him on a cross, because by then they would punish using the cross. They take the dead body on the cross and they started stoning it. That's what they did. So Salman Al-Farisi is like, who else can keep teaching me? Who else is better in the religion? They tell him, in this part of the world, we don't have knowledgeable people just like he has been. We don't have the likes of him. But what you're going to do, you go back to Iraq. He has been in Iran. He came from Iran, comes to Sham. Now they're sending him to Iraq. Iraq is between Sham and Iran. To a city called Mosul. And he finds the guy. He learns from him. He finds him to be a beautiful guy, a very religious guy, a very guy who would pray at night, a very serious guy who would pray at night, he would fast. He mentions all this in the hadith. I'm trying to summarize the Ibadur Rahman. So as the guy reaches his deathbed, Salman Al-Farisi is like, I was in such a scenario. I came from Iran. The guys directed me until I was directed to you. So who are you directing me to? The guy tells him, I don't know anyone in this land. You have to go to Nusaybin. That is Turkey. So Salman Al-Farisi again says, imagine how old he could be now. Because he's living with these guys for 5-10 years. Wallahu a'lam. If we have to imagine, it's about 35 years now. And the Prophet ﷺ is about 33 years, where he lives in Mecca. He hasn't yet received the revelation, but this is going on. So as he heads to Nusaybin, I want you to think about what he's going through, because I'm trying to summarize, but at the same time, I want to show you the hardships in seeking for the truth. Because this is a desert he's moving in. He's alone. He's more prone to to be made a slave. This is a very rough world. It's not like today of the days of visas and passports and the days of camera and keeping of people's identities. No one knows him, where he is. He was only known in the Persia, in the Iran. Where he is, no one knows him. So if someone wishes and they are powerful than him, they can take him as a slave and sell him very, very easily. No one will protect him. So he goes to Nusaybin Turkey. He gets the guy and starts to live with him until the guy is also about to die. And he directs him to a guy in Amuriya. It's a city that no longer exists, but it used to be in the Byzantine. You slightly go up in the northwest of Turkey again. So the Ibadullah, when that guy is about to die, the guy he meets in Amuriya, he is asking him, whom are you directing me to? The guy tells him, you go to this one. That one is where I've been. That one is where I've been. So he's like, I don't know anyone, apparently, who is still on this religion. The people we are preaching to are not listening. This is why these guys are even happy to be with Salmaan Al-Faris, because people are not listening to them. They are seeing them as madmen. People are believing in trinities, and you're telling them this and this and that. No, they wouldn't believe. So he tells him, except there is one thing I can tell you. Our scholars have taught us that the Prophet Isa, that is about 500 years back, he taught us that there is a prophet that is going to come in a land of dates, Ardun Nakhla, in a land of dates. And it's going to be between Harratain, two rocky mountains. That is the description of the land. And then he gives him the description of the person himself. Number one, he doesn't eat sadaqah. Number two, he eats tahdiya or hadiyya, the gifts. He takes the gifts and he eats them, but he doesn't eat sadaqah. Number three, he has a seal of prophethood between his katfain, his shoulders. So a seal of prophethood it's a different kind of hair that grows with a round shape in between of the two shoulders at the back. So that is how it used to look like, with different colors according to some of the scholars like Ibn Ishaq. That's how they explain that. So Salmaan Al-Farisi goes to the city, like outside, and is like, where can I find the land of the dates? People give him different alternatives. Actually, he even told him that he's going to come from the land of the Arabs. So it was he tried to make it precise for him to look for the land. So he's like, where is the land of dates? In the land of Arabs. They told him, the first people told him Khaybar, because Jews used to live so much there, and they would grow a lot of plantations of dates. So as he looks for people to take him to Khaybar, he doesn't know the right route to take. Khaybar is about 2-hour drives from Medina in the north. So Salmaan Al-Farisi is aiming for Khaybar. He had, at that moment, had some wealth. He has some animals, some stuff. He sells them for money so that he pays the guys to take him to Khaybar. When he pays these guys, they en route down and they find a certain group of people and they sell him as a slave. La ilaha illallah. This is when he becomes a slave. He's looking for the truth. He's looking for knowledge. But this is how Allah makes his plans. Guess whom these guys sell him to. They sell him to a certain group of Jews. But this group, for them, they live in Medina. You know, there are 3 clans which lived in Medina, and there are other clans which lived in Khaybar. So among the 3 clans is Banu Qurayza, Banu Qaynuqa, Banu Nadir. So among those, this guy belonged to, and he bought Salmaan Al-Farisi. So he changes the route, or he goes past Khaybar, it takes him up to Medina. So through hardship, Allah is making things more easier for him to find what he's looking for. So when he gets there, he's a slave now. He starts working tediously, like you don't have to lay a hand. When a slave, when your master wants you to do something, you have to do it continuously. This is exactly what happened to Salmaan Al-Farisi. But he is hearing about stories which were in Makkah. Someone has come and is saying he's a prophet of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Salmaan Al-Farisi is like, maybe he's the guy, but I'm yet to see him. Because now he can see the rocks, he can see the nakhla, the dead palms, and now he wants to know the person. So he keeps around Medina, and he's patiently waiting, Ibadur Rahman. Guess what? At one time, Prophet ﷺ immigrates from Mecca to Medina, just like we know. Salmaan Al-Farisi, during the time of immigration, during the time of him leaving Kuba, and he's coming inside Mecca, inside Medina, he was up on a dead palm. He was trying to get some dead fruits because it was maybe a season for they call it makongula, from forgetting the word to use in English. So it was a season for getting the fruits from harvesting, yeah. So by the time he was up there, so he sees people converging, and he tells these guys, he's so happy, he goes down actually, tells them, the guy has come. They slapped him because Jews never wanted Prophet Muhammad. They never liked him. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So cutting the long story short again, Salman Al-Farisi gets a number of dates. He goes to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He tells him, Ya Rasulullah, this is a sadaqah. Rasulullah gives to someone. He tells them, keep it there. Then on another day, not exactly consistently, but on another day, he comes with another set of dates. He gives to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Ya Rasulullah, this is your gift. He eats and he gives to the people around him. So he's like, those are now two signs. Now I want to see the ring. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam at one time, he was following a janazah, a dead body, or either he was carrying or he was among the people around it. And he realized Salman Al-Farisi was following. He had escaped from the fences, the plantations of his master. So he's trying to know, is this the rightful prophet? When he looks at the back, when Prophet ﷺ realizes this guy wants to say something, he's a prophet, and at the same time, he is human. Maybe he had the intuition, maybe he wants to say something, or Allah he formed him. So what he does, he had his clothes, these clothes they put on as ihram. So he put it slightly low, so that Salman Al-Farisi could see the ring at his back. When Salman saw it, he hugged him and shedded tears. I've been looking for you for a number of times. I've been looking for the truth. Because now he believes he's not with a knowledgeable person. He's not with a scholar. He's with a prophet. Direct communication from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. What a rank. Let's conclude it in the next khutubah. أقول ما تسمعون أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. أستغفر الله. الحمد لله الواحد الأحد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. Dear beloved servants of Allah, the story of Salman Al-Farisi is such a mesmerizing one, and it's filled with a number of lessons, the Ibadur Rahman. It is something we cannot teach in 30-40 minutes. But why would I choose this for our khutbah? It's because even a half of it can let you know how these guys valued knowledge. Ibadur Rahman. Salman Al-Farisi, since his childhood, his youthhood, he wasted it all. I would call it waste because of some people who think that knowledge is nothing. I would call it waste for their sake, but he didn't waste. He gave it up for the sake of seeking for the truth, dear beloved servants of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And as Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says that whenever you seek knowledge, Allah will make the path to Jannah very easy. Path to Jannah for Salman at the later stages was made easy because he was a slave when he joined Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And guess what? It is this ummah that bought him out of the slavery, because he told him, you go and communicate to your slave master. You do a mukataba, get an agreement, because it was allowed in the Jahiliyyah and even in the Quran. Allah allows it for a slave master to communicate with a slave, and they get a mukataba, he pays it, and he frees himself. So Salman Al-Farisi goes to the guy and talks to him. The guy tells him, I need 300 dead pounds, and I want them to be ready for harvest. That is when I'll release you. This is something quite difficult. 300 at that moment was quite difficult, because at times it takes 7 to 10 years to ripen, to get ready for harvest. But what Prophet ﷺ does, he tells the companions, you come with a number of what you may call what is planted. I don't know how to call it, but what is planted technically in the agricultural language, I don't know how to call it, but what is planted over a date, but it was still with a full stem. He would tell them, get something that at least has grown for about 5 years, so that we cut the time short for Salman Al-Farisi. So the Sahabas collected and came with these things. Prophet ﷺ told Salman Al-Farisi to dig the holes, and he said himself he's going to plant them. Why? Because he believes Allah has granted barakah in his person, like his hands, his everything has barakah. So he plants these things, and within a period of not more than a year, they had grown. Salman Al-Farisi was to be set free, except for another payment of 40 kilograms of some measurement they would use of gold. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam again got some gold from someone. He prayed upon it, and it multiplied the weight, and they paid it to the guy. Salmaan Al-Farisi was set free, and he enjoyed the fold of Islam. Ibadur Rahman, since then until now, he is a guy who is in the ranks of the people in Jannah. We believe he's among the radiyallahu anhum. Allah is pleased with him, Salmaan Al-Farisi. Why? Because he sat down and realized that he needs to seek for the truth. It's not about what your father says. It's not about what your parents say. It's not about what the other Muslims say. If it is about seeking knowledge, dear beloved servants of Allah, let us give our all to seeking knowledge. It is something that will get us to the best of ranks, first of all in this dunya, and secondly in the akhirah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, as I'm concluding, every person is going to be told, read as you incline. So levels of Jannah are going to be granted according to the knowledge of Quran that people used to seek. Dear beloved servants of Allah, I pray that Allah makes us from the knowledgeable and those that follow what they learn. Allahumma ameen. May Allah bestow His peace and blessings upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma a'izz al-Islam wal-Muslimin. Allahumma a'izz al-Islam wal-Muslimin. Allahumma a'izz al-Islam wal-Muslimin. Allahumma ghfir lana dhunubana wa illam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna min al-khasirin. Allahumma taqabbal minna innaka anta as-sami'ul alim. وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم اغفر لنا ولوالدينا وارحمهم كما ربونا صغار. اللهم انصر المسلمين في كل مكان. اللهم انصر المسلمين في كل مكان. اللهم انصر المسلمين في فلسطين يا رب العالمين إنك أنت على كل شيء قدير. وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا